Oh,
All right, everybody, it's Ashley Boyd again. This is Carolyn. Carolyn, can you please tell us about yourself and what you do?
yes, hi. I'm Carolyn Coleridge. I'm a psychotherapist, an intuitive, and a healer. And I do energy healing. I work at a major HMO doing therapy, spiritual counseling, and intuitive readings at times. Yeah, I
Ooh,
do
I
all
got
three.
goosebumps. That's so awesome to have that combination. I think it's such an amazing thought of having like Western medicine marry the energy medicine. And to me, it's such a rare thing right now. I know it's going in the right trend is going, but to find somebody who actually practices now is like, yay.
Yeah, it's really, yeah, it's huge. And it's been exciting because I worked at UCLA, which is, a conservative hospital as a healer, an intuitive healer. So I do hands-on healing and I worked for a complementary alternative medicine team. And so I was able to really talk with their and um, in the world. It's almost like the balance between the intuition and the ego, the spirit and the ego.
That's amazing.
Right. It's been really, I've been going out and doing different things. And I work at a major HMO and I teach about intuition there. I teach about trusting your gut and dreams. And because a lot of people who've had breakdowns is really breakthroughs, I feel like intuition is the language that helps them to understand what's really happening to them. And that some of these messages or shadows or other things may actually be, spirit beings, may be them breaking through to finding their own inner awareness of who and why they are and why they're here on the planet at this time. Yeah.
That's just amazing. Like I literally have like goosebumps on goosebumps because it's such a powerful message to be able to break into the medicine world and how it's so controlled by algorithms and such that to be able to do that, I mean, that's just mind boggling because I presented something similar in the sense of teaching intuition and people looked at me like I was batshit crazy for lack of a better term.
Absolutely. Yeah. Medical model is very strong. And I worked at a huge HMO and I worked as a medical social worker. Now I work as a primary therapist in the same HMO. And it's the results of the patient that's really make people to listen and seeing them open up, seeing them understand, well, maybe there is something, going on with me, or my intuition tells me, like this one client said, she had a dream that had cancer and she just woke up and said, I have cancer. And she went to the doctor before and they said no. So then when she went back, she says, you got to do another test. And they found it. So her intuition, like opening up, trusting that is really powerful. And a lot of times we're connected to our bodies. I believe intuition is spirit. Our spirits are guiding force on this planet. So we have to listen to it. And it's getting stronger and stronger because I believe that, like the divine feminine is coming back. I believe that there's so much deception out there. People want to know truth,
Yes. Yes.
100%.
People do want to know truth. That is such a good point and such a great way to just like literally they want to know truth. It's like everything is I mean I'm 35 and from the very little even just to now I mean I don't watch TV or hardly ever go to the grocery store and it's because of seeing so much fakeness out there. It's like now everybody's in this mode of seeking truth and wanting the real deal, like the real before and afters, not like the fake before and afters. So it's so true about the spirit being a guide and us being physically connected to it. It's just a matter of teaching people how to get in tune with it. So how did you actually get in tune with yourself? Some people, I mean, everybody's a different journey.
Yes. So when I was studying to get my master's at Columbia to be a therapist, very conservative school, one of the oldest social work school, just out of the blue, I'd wake up and I would see a ghost looking at me, like, why is there somebody in my apartment? And then I would see more ghosts, and they were solid, and it freaked me out. I was really nervous about it. But my mother, who is a science teacher, she was a science teacher and a physicist teacher in high school, and she won the college. So she was a very bright woman. She went to Columbia herself, and she said she always saw ghosts, and she goes, "Oh, you're just opening up." I'm like, at 28, I was 28, right before my Saturn return. it. So I actually went to a healer and an intuitive, and they said, "Oh, you're supposed to incorporate spirituality and mental health." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" If I tell people at Columbia, my supervisors, that I'm hearing and seeing things, I went straight to the loony bin. Like, that's the last place. So I think it's kind of the yin and the yang, the exact opposite. So then I found Judith Orloff's books, on intuition. I think it was. Oh, I forgot the name of the book now. Oh, Second Sight. And I was a psychiatrist who uses intuition. So I was like, oh, this is, so other people have this experience. So I started out intuition. I went to a spiritualist church. I studied with the Edgar Cayce group in Manhattan silently while I'm studying, clinical stuff and Freud and Jung and all this other stuff. So I'm going back and forth. And Jung gets into this, intuition and dreams and stuff a lot. So I was like, how do I incorporate it? So I did it quietly. Actually, spirit and intuition taught me how to trust, how to be quiet and what's right, and how to move forward. That's the yin and the yang. That's the male and the female. That's the light and the dark. So I would ask my intuition as I did intuitive training, is this right? Should I move forward? That's like a big no. Don't tell your supervisor you saw a ghost. And then later I would learn about different things of intuition, and I would practice. I do a spiritualist group where we would sit and we would read each other. And then after that, my mediumship skills start opening up. So, and I ended up, my first job was on Wall Street, working at an EAP, Employee Assistance Program, as a therapist. And the managing partner she was a woman, and she said to me, I was talking all these theories about being a therapist. She kept looking at me, looking around me, and it was almost like she was tuning in. So then she finally just said, "Oh, stop that jabber." She goes, "You're very intuitive, I can tell. Just use your intuition when you're working with clients." I was like, whoa. And apparently she had visions her whole life. So at this conservative company, there it is. So I started to practice it, and she encouraged it. I went to energies healing. My supervisor was a astrologer. It's just weird. And we had major, like, I know, in Smith Farm, these major accounts, all these law firms are very conservative. But a lot of people, when you're so much in that conservative, the light, you're looking for the spirit, you're looking for something to heal you. I mean, we had our offices functioning thing, and we would teach people really just about really honoring themselves. So it wasn't later. Then I became a Reiki master there, a Reiki therapist there, and then that opened me up spiritually too, to intuition and trusting, and also it helped with working with clients. When I started to work with clients doing this training at an educational center, I would see their auras, I would see colors around them and lights, and I'm like, and then I would know the colors meant certain things. It's great intervention as to where I need to work with them. So that was my path, and I've been doing it for 23 years.
That is just such an amazing journey to be able to really attest that it's a work in progress. Like, some people just have this aha and they just flow. And then other people, you have to work at it. I'm a work atter. And so I've been working on myself and my intuition for a long time, but I've always been, I just within the last couple of years honed in completely in on myself after being channeled. And once I was channeled and told what I really need to focus on, that's when I was like, oh, okay, well, okay, I should have been doing this a long time ago, because now I feel like the most completeness that I've ever felt ever. So I love the fact that your journey was a work in progress, and I think that's amazing. And to be able to practice in both realms is so cool.
You see in society, a lot of things are breaking down, and for example, like food. Food isn't real, and you realize it's a GMO, and then, bank companies with fraud, and then with hospitals, even, because I worked at hospitals, I still do. I just worked in the ER the other night, and it's just the bankruptcy that people get. And do they really need to charge you like $10,000 for some, oncology medications? I mean, there's just avenues, that people are like, well, why don't we use herbs, or maybe a better way, or why don't we kind of use our minds and trust that? I feel like we're here from spirit, so spirit has a lot of the answers, so we can actually utilize that to help. Einstein, that's when he went to sleep and woke up and he got all these formulas. He was using his intuition, and he actually has that great quote, which I don't know, but it's, like, intuition's the master. I can't remember the quote, but his quote about intuition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was an inspiration for me by just researching some quotes after I had been reading this book called Blink by suggested one of the neuroscientists that I interviewed, and
Mm.
he just his mind is captivating, so it makes you really want to dive deep in the history of things so you can show people that this isn't just like new age stuff. This has been forever. It's just now people are starting to get in, are almost desperate, I feel like, to get another type of fixing themselves instead of taking a pill, or realizing that this way, the Western way, is so expensive and then the natural way is so much cheaper when you're really fixing yourself, but you're really soothing your brain, which in turn fixes your all internal stuff. And the food thing, don't even get me started on the food thing.
Oh, right. I know. And so many natural foods can really heal us.
Mm-hmm.
There's great foods for your chakras and aura. I just ordered like Thistle, which is a food ordering company, which is, balanced of certain types of food, which is very healthy. And yeah, a lot of our diseases are connected to the foods we eat, over time.
Absolutely.
The diabetes is skyrocketing with kids now. So there's so many things. And I feel like we're all here to kind of help the planet evolve. And we get
Mm-hmm.
that through meditating, becoming quiet, because I'm a mindfulness meditation teacher, and that enhances your intuition. The more quiet you
Absolutely.
become, the more your spirit can come through.
Absolutely. I was talking to this neuroscientist about they finally are proving with MRI and CT scans about meditation. So people have a tangible that this really is working. It really is the best way, best medicine for yourself is to be able to slow your brain down and really concentrate on what you need. And some people are like, well, I don't know what I need. Well, it'll come to you if you can calm your brain from all these crazy thoughts.
Absolutely, because when I teach mindfulness, I tell people that your spirit is the space between the thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
That has your guide. Is your future. Mindfulness Awareness Research Center at UCLA has tons of researches on being in the present moment, actually heals anxiety and depression, and lowers blood pressure, etc.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like they actually are hooking people up now to monitoring and even down to their sweat glands. And it shows that when people are processing an intuitive feeling or thought, certain fight or flight reactions are going on from the central nervous system, which I've always known because that's how I really get in tune with myself, is really figuring out my own body. But it's nice to have the tangible for people who just don't believe. It's like, well, here's the backing.
Absolutely, yes. And the more you activate it, it's almost like a muscle, the
Mm-hmm.
stronger your intuition becomes. And I do an intuitive development groups for therapists, and I help them to improve their intuition that they have kind of naturally, and just to keep working with it and working with totem animals and going out to the universe, asking questions, getting a response. And then it heightens you up to another frequency, which is language of the spirit, which is language of it. So
That's That's just awesome. I
to
love that.
see how it can affect their life. Yeah, when they even connecting to intuition work practice. Did you know that you're supposed to leave this job 6 years ago?
Yeah, totally. It's just crazy to me.
Because people don't have, yeah.
What's the last thing that you just said? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
You see me?
Yep, now I can.
Okay, something happened.
What was the last thing that you said? Just I cut you off.
Oh, about intuition. I also teach a lot about, intuition, because people know about their jobs that they should have left years ago. And I said, what was it? It was a gut feeling. It was something I just knew. And I say, that's your intuition. And then when sometimes I say things like, oh my God, I'm getting, like chills or aha moments. I said, that's your spirit inside of you shaking, shake, rattle, and roll, saying, oh my God, it's time to pass. So I said, you got to pay attention to that. What does your stomach feel like when you do this job interview? It's sank. What happens when your stomach sinks? Oh, it's usually something bad. That's your intuition. So I work with the chakras, bring up energy charts. I have them pick colors and see which color they feel drawn to. And it's usually exactly what issues they're working on in their lives. So intuition is really important in mental health.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I wish I could talk to you for a couple more hours, because I think this is amazing, because it's such a great marrying of the minds. I think it's fabulous. So can you let people know where they can find you?
Absolutely. My website is intuitivesoulhealing.com. And I have 2 books on Amazon, Honor Your Spirit, which is about my spiritual path, honoring intuition. And then How to Work with the Universe is the workbook that goes along with it that helps people enhance their intuition. And then I also work at the Den Meditation Center in LA, and I teach meditation there.
I love it. Thank you so much, Carolyn. This was so amazing. Like I said, I could pick your brain for a couple of hours.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This has been enjoyable.
Absolutely.
Have a great day.
You too.